My name's Caleb Tyson. I'm a senior in the media arts production program with a focus in film, and I just recently wrapped shooting my senior project, which is a short film called The Evil Within, which is based off of my struggles in my faith journey. There was challenges in going to school, just with dealing with selective mutism. It's an anxiety disorder that makes it difficult for you to speak at all. And some people, and in my case, I didn't want to speak around anybody who wasn't my immediate family. I went to a therapist, and we kind of worked through just how to start speaking again. It was basically speech therapy. But I was always shy from that moment forward because everybody knew me as that quiet kid who didn't talk. That definitely painted not only my elementary school years, but middle school and high school. When I was little, my relationship with God was, I think it was like most normal kids who went to church every Sunday and stuff like that. They say they believed and they said the prayer at 6, 7, I don't know. For me, I think it was around 7. But when it came to actually living out the Christian life, I was very much someone who just said I was a Christian and didn't live it out. When it comes to how did God help me with my anxiety, he very much did help me, whether I was talking to him or not, but I didn't really go to him for anything. I started praying to God to help me overcome my social anxiety and to help me to just become better at socializing, because I just realized that, look, this is something I need to get better at. I'm not going to make it too far in life, and I'm not going to have good relationships around me. I'm not going to have any of that. So I started praying a lot, almost every day, specifically about social anxiety. God has used people in my life tremendously to get me through a lot of ups and downs. I'm convinced that I would have not kept the faith if it wasn't for God using people in my life. I certainly would not, because there were so many times where I wanted to give up my faith entirely, and God would use people to reel me back in. It's just some advice that I would give if you're struggling with any form of anxiety or just any form of mental illness in general, is just surround yourself with godly people who love God and love you. Surround yourself with those people so they can speak into your life when you don't want anybody to speak into your life, because if you surround yourself with people that actually love you, they're going to speak into your life even when you don't want them to. Since anxiety attacks my spiritual life a lot, I often have a very hard time praying. I have a very hard time doing devotions. I have a very hard time doing anything spiritual or anything religious. Even going to church is hard. Not in the sense of getting there, but getting through the service is hard without thoughts constantly distracting me. So to help with anxiety nowadays, I've been going to therapy for 4 years now, maybe going on 5, honestly. And therapy is something that's really important that I want to stress, just because I hear a lot of people have this stigma around it. I never really understood that stigma because it's always helped me so much. But it's just, and maybe that's because I'm a verbal processor. I just like to dump information out, and that's how I process things. But even if you're not like that, it really does help to just go through it with somebody else and process your feelings and just things that you're going through. So I just want to let you know that it's okay if you can't pray some days. Not in the sense that you don't talk to God some days, but in the sense of, if you don't pray, know that the Spirit's going to be interceding for you. It's okay to go to God and be like, look, I really I can't talk to you right now. I'm really struggling to talk to you right now. Can you just take this from here? Look in Scripture and be like, for me, one of the ones that always comes to me is, I believe, but help my unbelief. That's something I find myself in every single day, almost every moment of the day, where it's like, I believe what God's saying as in I believe he says this, but at a deep level, I'm still struggling to believe this. It's okay to be there as long as you're continuing to go to God for that help. And that might look like going to your friends so they can pray for you instead. So some verses from Scripture that has really helped me out is one of the verses from Philippians, which is, do not be anxious about anything. That's been huge for me. Another one that's really impacted me is when Jesus says that my grace is sufficient for you, in the sense of, no matter how you failed, what you've done, what you thought, even if it was in the church or wherever it was, no matter what that is, his grace is sufficient to cover over that.